Hey everybody. A long time no see. Uh, I've been on the road, family issues. Bitcoin's done crazy stuff in the meantime, and I just wanted to talk about a few subjects that I notice during bull markets that kind of freak people out. You see the price go up and down. I don't really want to talk about price that much. No one can predict the future. You can kind of just see the way that technology is going, and then you can kind of position yourself to be along for the ride. I think the ride that's coming is something that if you know how this stuff works, then you can see it pretty clearly. Uh, I know every time there's a bull market, there's usually like a main narrative of what the new technology is and what it should be used for. Um, Last time I think that was NFTs. I think before that it was ICOs. And the problem with that I have is ICOs and NFTs are actually, in my opinion, useful. But the problem is it gets attached to something scammy, and then uh, it sounds like the wrong thing to pursue. So like NFTs aren't JPEGs or songs or art or anything like that. And I think it ran away from itself, and then the underlying technology is still there. So if you're not certain what NFT is, it's basically a unique identifier in a database um, or a network, and that network is decentralized at the moment. So like a wallet is an NFT. It's a non-fungible token that gives you access to sign digital signatures. Without it, you can't actually do anything on the blockchain. And it's NFT and it's needed. Another thing would be like, let's say you're making a decentralized DNS service and you want to create a .eth address or whatever, and have it linked to a bunch of wallets. That human readable thing is a non-fungible token. Any type of ID system, or maybe like account logins. You could have an account login that's an NFT. It doesn't have to be a picture of a monkey or a JPEG. That's just a representation of something that can be tagged with an NFT, not necessarily the NFT itself. The NFT itself is just a number on the blockchain that's identifiable, that allows you to sign as this particular identification. So it's very valuable. But if I say NFT and you cringe and just think of crappy art that people are trying to sell you as a scam, then you miss the story of NFT, and you're basically, the market is doing you a disservice, because uh, the news is filled with garbage, and I'm trying my best here to get information out. And so if you like this, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share. If you hear other people that talk like me, by all means, promote their stuff. It's hard. It's very few and far between that I hear people that talk like me that aren't like maximalists for their own particular chain, or care about price too much, or care about which moon you're going to land on. And it's unfortunate. I care about the vehicle, where we're going. I care about the pieces to that vehicle. If NFT is a tire, decentralized technology is basically the entire ecosystem. And by technology, I don't just mean software. We're going to have decentralized hardware. It's going to be more like nature, where you have viruses and bacteria and things that just live in nature and interact with each other. But we're going to have that with technology, and it can't be centralized because no central planner can orchestrate it all. These things have to live and die on their own merits, kind of like companies. If they're not profitable, they don't continue unless there's something wrong with a centralized system that makes them continue, which is our current government. It's how it operates. And so we're starting to see a switch away from centralized planning, which I think has been happening since agriculture. Agriculture basically takes decentralized nature and centralizes it for harnessing it for humans. But now I think the human is becoming powerful enough to become a mini civilization into each person. And so you centralize to yourself, but when it comes to the rest of the world, you'll be better served by an entire decentralized ecosystem of services and networks that help you live better, and you fit perfectly into them, kind of like a bird with a migratory patterns, with insects that it eats, and nesting grounds, and the trees that grow almost exactly for it to live. You know, everything in the ecosystem fits perfectly. We've kind of developed our way out of that, and we're starting to build our own ecosystem, and it's going to look more natural. It's going to look more decentralized. There's no conference of trees. There may be schools of fish here and there, but they overall fit in balance with the ecosystem. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to find a way for our civilization to balance with an ecosystem that we build for it with our technology, because our technology kind of sprung us out of the normal ecosystem. And so we kind of separate ourselves from nature, but it's really not true. It's just we have the ability to change the environment, and now we need to make the environment conducive for the most amount of people, not just the richest people. And I'm not against rewarding people that do really well, and give them the most resources so they can do even cooler things with it. I'm fine with that. But I think for a long time we've had passing down of that type of lineage that hasn't been fair. Um, and so every time you start a new life, you have to fight to get to a position where you might have influence if you get lucky, which is not good. I don't think that's a good system. You have a bunch of wasted geniuses. Um, I'm not saying I know them, but I'm pretty sure it's happening. Uh, I'm pretty sure someone like Elon Musk is as smart as he is. He's he's not uh, Albert Einstein smart. Um, and I'm sure there's a ton of Albert Einstein smart people out there that would love to have resources and do things with them, but our system doesn't reward how smart you are. And maybe that's something we'll learn how to do in the future. But what I'm saying is, if you understand the vehicle where technology is going, you will not be tricked by the word games, which is why I love to talk about philosophy and words and what they're being used for and why and who's benefiting from them. So we can separate things like money and currency being against each other and learn what they really are and go, okay, you're playing semantic games. This is not an important argument. Money is anything I can use to buy stuff with. I want decentralized money, just because it's harder to manipulate. The end. Not this isn't money because you can manipulate it. I don't even need to play that game. If something's better, it obsoletes the other thing, and then we can move on. I don't need to discredit Windows 95 in order to use Windows XP. It's Windows XP is just easier for me to use. It runs on faster machines. It can accept more memory. Whatever the case is, it just works better for me. I don't need to give someone the finer points of why Windows 95 is evil. But for some reason, we feel the need in this space to tell everyone why fiat is evil. Fiat got us here. Any tool can become corrupt, but it's corrupted by humans. It's not corrupted because of what it is. I think Bitcoin is harder to corrupt. That doesn't mean it's incorruptible. And I think it will become centralized pretty quickly, but I think its main job is going to turn from being cash into keeping the larger powers in the world honest with each other, which actually gives us time and energy to work on better things than they do. So it would be nice to go to space. It would be nice to have decentralized hardware that can't be hacked or can't be easily backdoored by centralized actors with malicious intents. I'm looking for decentralized technology, and I'm watching it happen. So things like NFTs or JPEGs kind of just roll off me because I look deeper to see, well, why did someone spend all this time making this technology? It obviously wasn't to tag JPEGs. Although, as a side effect, you can do that. It doesn't mean it's the most valuable use case. So I'm saying all that to say, look out this cycle. What I've noticed is real world assets being said a lot, and maybe they're going to get into something stupid with RWA. Heard that thrown around. I mean, NFTs have popped up a little bit more, but you'll notice a lot of the NFTs have launched a token. And that's because it's easier to show value with a token rather than a unique item. The unique item is an account, and they're not using them as accounts really at the moment. Um, but they'll learn that it's a waste of time to do like stupid penguins and monkeys, and like that's free, and AI is going to do that in 2 seconds. And uh, we really need to use this technology to replace what we have now, replace Google decentralized search, replace the government, decentralized voting and decentralized rulings, replace corporations, decentralized autonomous organizations, replace hardware with decentralized networks that where people run their own hardware, and we have mesh networks at like things like Helium. So if you start looking for what it replaces instead of looking at uh, new use cases, look at the use cases we already have and see how they get replaced by a decentralized version. And I think you can't miss it once you see it. So, and I know there's a lot of buzzwords to filter through, and we'll try to go through them. I would love some feedback and some questions so I have an idea of a topic, because I will ramble whatever comes to my head, obviously. I really want to stick on topic with this whole NFT thing, because I know that puts a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And if it does, I would suggest maybe just looking up what NFTs could be used for besides art or music or uh, shared ownership. I think that's the single ownership is the number one use of NFT, name identification. So like your wallet, like that's a huge use of NFT that people just don't realize that's what it is. It's a token. Uh, it can't be the same as anybody else's unique identifier, but it's a secret unique identifier. So people don't think of it as an NFT, but it is. Yeah, I'm saying all that to say, just be on the lookout, know what the vehicle is, look for decentralized things. Blockchain is just one way to get decentralized. Decentralization is the goal. Decentralize all the things. That was always the goal from the beginning. Being digital gold, being the world computer, whatever use case each individual chain comes up with is nice, and it has its own goals and everything. But we really need to get back to the mantra. The cypherpunks from the beginning were here to decentralize all the things, because it's magic. It allows us to create an ecosystem that lives and breathes on its own without people being easily able to corrupt it. And it helps us live and flourish, and we help it live and flourish. So anyway, thanks for listening. Hopefully you have a good holidays. Hopefully my holidays go more smoothly than they have been. And I'll talk to you later.